Look around you. There's a good chance someone you see every day is hungry. In Tampa Bay, hundreds of thousands of people are food insecure, meaning they lack consistent and easy access to safe, nutritionally adequate food. And the problem isn't limited only to the homeless. Many who struggle to find adequate food are working adults, children, and the elderly. On today's show, we're joined by our friends from Feeding Tampa Bay to explain just how you can help those in need. Next on Bayside. Good morning and welcome to Bayside. I am your host, Shelly Sanders. Like I said before, we're talking all about Feeding Tampa Bay and just exactly what they do here in the Bay Area, feeding those in need. And we're going to tell you how you can help out. And I can't think of a more appropriate person to talk to than the Chief Development Officer, Miss Kelly Sims.
Thank you for
Welcome
having
back
me.
to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
Yes, it's nice to have you here. I wish there was not a need for you to even exist, but the reality is it is there, and I know you guys have big goals, and we'll get to that. But welcome back to the show anyway.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning.
For sure. Now, throughout the years, you guys have been coming and telling us all the big plans that you have and all the things that you've been able to do here in the Bay Area. And then COVID hit and has affected literally every being on this planet. Has that put a damper at all in some of these plans that you guys have and in your regular day-to-day ongoing organization?
It really hasn't. What it has done, though, is given us an opportunity to step up and propel forward in some of the plans that we had. Of course, our goal is to continue meeting the need of those who are hungry, and now there's more hungry folks. But with the evolving of our programs, we've been able to meet that need, and we're really proud of the effort that we've had so far.
Fantastic. Let's talk to the people that maybe they're new to the area, or maybe they haven't heard of you, which is pretty remarkable because you're very present and do a fantastic job of getting the awareness out there. But for those individuals that are maybe just now hearing about you and really curious as to exactly what it is you do, I know I alluded to it in the open. Let's talk about that. It's feeding, but there's more to it than just that. So.
It's true. So prior to COVID, Feeding Tampa Bay, we are responsible for 10 counties in this area, and we were feeding about 650,000 people. Post-COVID and during COVID, that escalated to 1 million people.
That's incredible.
But it has also given us an opportunity to build out what we have called our Food for Today, which is feeding folks, Food for Tomorrow, which is making them aware of added benefits or services that they may not know they qualify for, and then Food for Tomorrow, which is our workforce training program. And all of that really takes a family or an individual from that moment of needing food towards personal sustainability when we're able to help them find a job.
Right. So the immediate need, food for today, is okay, you're hungry, we need to figure out what we're going to do now. Now let's figure out how can you do this and what resources can we provide for you to be able to have this for tomorrow. And that's your food for tomorrow, if I'm understanding correctly.
Absolutely correct.
So again, so it goes well beyond just feeding people, because you have resources readily available to you so that others can be able to do this on your own, and that establishes a sense of pride for individuals as well, because again, going further than just fulfilling the need of an empty belly.
That's so true. And while we will always stay focused on our mission of feeding folks, more and more we're working towards ending hunger in our region, and that really means providing opportunities for people to have a job, meet their own needs, not have to come back to a food line. And so that is an effort that even during COVID, we've been able to move forward in a very big way.
Okay. That being said, what is that? You're developing new programs, you have new protocol. I would imagine you have to have new protocol given the circumstances with COVID. But what all does that entail? Because you've already had a very lofty goal to begin with, and I love it. To me, that gives me goosebumps thinking about it. No one hungry by, what was it,
2025.
2025. So that is a huge goal, and doing very well on the way there. Now you've got new circumstances. So what does that entail?
It's true. There are a lot more people who are in our care right now. And yet it does give us an interesting and exciting opportunity, because as we take that moment where we're providing someone a meal, to leverage that time with them and say, what can we do to help you change your income for the month? And then what can we do to help you find a job? And that's our Fresh Force workforce training program, of which is moving forward in a very big way.
Fresh Force. So elaborate on that a little bit, because I think that program is such a beautiful program, and at the same time so necessary.
It is. Feeding Tampa Bay, naturally, because of what we do, have the ability to train others in culinary arts, in warehouse logistics, because that's really what we are, and then Class A truck driving. And in all of those, our workforce training program, which we call Fresh Force, gives people the opportunity to get certifications in all of those. Soft skills like interviewing skills, financial literacy, so that when they come through and out of the program, they're prepared to actually have a job. We have a 95% graduation rate,
Wow.
and those have also found jobs. And we're very fortunate, because of those who sit on our board, whether it's Coca-Cola or Publix or others, we're able to have them hired right immediately. And some have come to work at Feeding Tampa Bay right there with us.
Sure. Well, that was my next question. Do you see that the people that you've found that you've trained are able to come back and help you and work with you?
We have, and there are those through the program that we have hired. There are others who've gone on to the jobs I mentioned, whether they're working with Amazon or Publix or Coca-Cola, and they come back and volunteer with us as well. And so we continue, and we do track their success in the other positions for a year or so, to make sure that they're really integrated in their new employment.
Sure. I think it's so beautiful, because it's obvious that you've put a whole lot of thought into this. It's okay, well, yes, we want to provide these meals, but we need to have something to be able to give them as well, so that they can provide meals for themselves and for their families. So, and that's exactly what Fresh Force does. Talk to me a little bit about Food RX. What is that?
So we're increasingly building partnerships with our healthcare partners. Those might be hospitals or our federally funded healthcare clinics, to say, as you have patients who come into your world, the success of their health is really going to rely on their ability to get food that is nutritious and works along with the medicines. And so to be able to provide really prescriptive foods that would be provided almost like a pantry on site, as well as delivered meals in some cases, gives folks that added month or two or more that gives them the right food to help them on their way, whether it's cardiac issues, whether it's diabetes. In all of these cases, having nutritious food is very integral to their health.
Sure. So it goes beyond just providing food, any food. I mean, this is actual a thought process goes into it, because not just any food is good for everyone. I mean, let's face it, yes, if you're starving and all you have to eat is a box of Twinkies, but eating a box of Twinkies day in and day out isn't going to be nutritionally stable enough to keep you healthy, right?
It's very true. So
food, so sorry to interrupt you, but so Food RX, that's kind of what takes the place of that, and really sending that nutritious, balanced meal to the individuals that need it. So I'm sure you at home are wanting more information, and we're going to give that to you. So you're looking at the website right there, feedingtampabay.org. That's the website that you're looking at right there. As you can see, their goal, hunger-free Tampa Bay by 2025. big prayers, sending them up, hoping that that goal is well surpassed and no longer need Feeding Tampa Bay. Why don't you go check it out? We're going to break, but we'll be back after this. Welcome back to Bayside. I'm your host, Shelly Sanders. I've been talking with Miss Kelly Sims all about Feeding Tampa Bay. Now, Kelly, when we left on break, we were talking about how you've really partnered with healthcare workers, doctors, et cetera, on the Food RX program, and really how important it is to have that balanced diet and diet-specific entrees for those individuals with health issues. Instead of just it's a mix of who knows what kind of food, you really put more thought into it. Again, Feeding Tampa Bay, if this is your first time hearing anything about it, these guys go beyond, above and beyond just feeding people. They really put a lot of thought process into it, feeding today and figuring out how you're going to eat tomorrow. I love that. Food for today, food for tomorrow. With the workforce program, everything that you do, you continuously deserve an applause every single day. So coming back to that, we talked about that Fresh Force program, but you also have a furloughed worker program. Tell me about that.
We're very proud of this program. So Feeding Tampa Bay has had an ongoing relationship with our restaurant and hospitality partners for many, many years, many of which there were employees that they had to furlough during this period of time, and we've wanted to be supportive of that, and so we hired up 75 or more of those furloughed workers to come to work at Feeding Tampa Bay. They've been wonderful at the work they've done. Many have decided they want to stay with us, and so this is just part of our ongoing partnership with many of those businesses around town that have been wonderful partners for us for years.
That's fantastic. So almost vicariously through them, you're raising awareness once again of what you guys are doing here, raising awareness of just the fact that you exist. Now, for those individuals that maybe this is new information for them, thinking, you know what, I could really benefit from these services. How does that go? Walk us through that process, and maybe maybe a viewer knows someone that could benefit from your services and programs.
So if those that might be looking for food, we can start there because that is our primary mission. Sure. Going to our website, looking for the Find Food page is the kind of the start of the process. If those are interested in volunteering, they can find that as well. For those who might like to apply, for instance, for our Fresh Force training program, that application is there, and we do 4 cohorts a year, and so we would look for your application.
Fantastic. Again, for you at home, you're seeing that website. That's the website Kelly's referring to right there, feedingtampabay.org. All the information that Kelly and I talk about today and then some is on this website. So if you are in need of assistance, know someone that is, or perhaps, like she said, want to volunteer, or I'm sure you would never turn away financial donations as well, right?
We would be happy to receive the help.
Exactly. All that information is right there on the website, and we'll put it back up on the screen for you here in a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the SNAP program. Right. Okay, what exactly is that? And for those individuals that do know what it is, how are you involved with that?
So SNAP, in many cases, we would think of it historically has been called food stamps.
Right.
And the Feeding Tampa Bay is working along with many of our other partners to say, as families come to us looking for food, can we find out if they have applied? Do they understand what SNAP is? One thing we do know, for every meal we provide, SNAP provides 9 meals into that home. And so whatever political side you might be on, one thing we know, factually, SNAP is very important. In fact, it brings back into the economy, for every $1 that someone receives in SNAP, it brings back $1.70. So economically, it's a great plan as well. So we make sure that our families know that they may qualify for SNAP.
Fantastic. So there is a vetting process, or a pseudo vetting process to figure out, okay, you do qualify for this. And you said for every 1 meal Feeding Tampa Bay provides, SNAP provides 9. That's incredible. That alone speaks volumes to the necessity of it. And again, it should never be a political issue. Any way you look at it, it should be a humanitarian issue, what we're looking at here when it comes to hunger and humans. It should not be a political issue. So back to Feeding Tampa Bay. So right now, what would you say is your biggest need? What is it that if you had to have your needs list, what is it for our viewers? What do you need?
For sure, continuing financial support helps us provide all of these services we've spoken about, as well as volunteering. Those who say, I don't have a lot of extra income right now and I can't donate, but I could certainly give my time. We would greatly appreciate that as well. Those would be the 2 areas we could certainly use the most help.
Time, talents, and treasure, always. Never say no to that. You're looking at the website right there. That's where you're going to go to assist Feeding Tampa Bay with your time, talent, or treasure, or perhaps all 3. FeedingTampaBay.org, that's the website. You're looking at it right there. Help them help Tampa Bay be hunger-free by 2025. Why don't you guys check it out while we go to break? Welcome back to Bayside. I'm your host, Shelly Sanders. I've been talking with Kelly Sims all about Feeding Tampa Bay. During the break, Kelly, we got to talking about your current facility. And if you can believe it, for the audience out there, 80,000 square feet, and it's still not enough. If anything, it's bittersweet, the fact that you are able to move, yet that the need is so great that 80,000 square feet isn't enough. So that being said, you have some exciting news coming up. You need a new facility. Talk to us about that.
Right, so Feeding Tampa Bay in the home that we're in really began in 2009 when we were only delivering 15 million meals a year.
Only.
That sounds like a lot, but that same facility is now helping us distribute 85 million meals in the same square footage. It's not enough. And with the need being greater, and with the addition of programs like Fresh Force, where we need classrooms and so on, it's really time for us to move towards a new facility. And so we'll be releasing a great deal of information about the location that we found and how others can help us towards moving into a new facility that will help us get to that hunger-free Tampa Bay by 2025.
Sure. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, and financially, that's got to be a pretty big ticket, too. So you do need financial assistance in order to facilitate that, correct?
The need for support from the community to help us do that is great. We won't be able to do it, in fact, without the community's support. And there are those who have said, we're going to support you as you move forward with that. And then we hope that others, as they hear the story, maybe even today, will say, how can I be a part of moving into a facility that will help us make sure that our region is hunger-free?
Absolutely. I love that. Our region, hunger-free, even bigger. So for you at home, again, if you want to help out, I would think that this would be a perfect opportunity for things like church groups, or perhaps you're a local business here in the Bay Area and you're looking for some way for your employees to help out, or perhaps you would like to financially assist and help them get stuff accomplished, doing so many great things here in the Bay Area. You know, more than anything, just get creative. They're open-minded. Reach out to them, and of course you can do that through the website. The website is feedingtampabay.org. You're looking at it right now, feedingtampabay.org. That's going to give you all the information about everything that Kelly and I have talked about, but in case you want to dive a little deeper and really get into what they're about here, all that information is right there on feedingtampabay.org. It'll tell you what they do here in the Bay Area, what their goals are, how they want to facilitate those. It'll even give you information on the upcoming facility that they're hoping to be able to build, and they can't do that without assistance from people just like you. All right, feedingtampabay.org, that's the website. Go check it out. We're going to break. As always, I want to thank you for joining us this week on Bayside. And of course, Kelly, thank you for coming and enlightening us. 85 million meals a year. My goodness, and I don't even know how many I do, and it's not even a fraction of that. I can't even imagine that undertaking. Just think, I tell you every single week, to get out, get involved in your community. I can't think of a better way to do that than to help out Feeding Tampa Bay, either through time or financially. Any way you do it, they could use it. Help them to help us have a hunger-free region here in Florida by 2025. All right, feedingtampabay.org, that's the website. You guys have a great rest of your week.